Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Hope you are okay on that side of the screen. And today I've got here with me Raspberry Pi 4 and Android 12. And what we are going to do in this particular video, we are going to check what works, what doesn't work, and what works less well, and of course also the installation guide. But before we proceed, I've got the Raspberry Pi 4 inside the Desk Pi Elite, which was the latest case that we saw right over here. I will leave a link on the YouTube cards. Actually, I will leave a link for the Raspberry Pi 4 library, so you will have a lot of guides, tutorials and whatnot. And we are also using the AOC gaming display 244 Hz, which I will share with you really soon. Now, before we start with what works and what doesn't work, the guide that we are going to use is developed by Konstakang, so all the credits are due to him. I will leave a link down below so that you can follow up, but I will show you all the steps that you will need to do, and you will have in a few minutes your Raspberry Pi 4 running Android 12. Now, before you run and purchase a Raspberry Pi 4 to install Android 12, I would say wait till the end of the video and then you decide what to do. Now, one of the things that doesn't work at all is the video decoding and encoding through hardware. So we will not be able to take full advantage of the hardware that we have right over here, which is quite powerful. We will be able to decode and encode video only through software. So that's the biggest limitation that we will find right over here. Now, in terms of result, we will be using the Play Store with its full capabilities, so we will be able to install the apps and whatnot. I did test out a few apps and I'm going to share with you the results. The first kind of app that I did test out, my local TV provider, IPTV in this particular case, which works really well. I did install 4, but I only tested out 1 and it did work really well. I could see all the channels, no issues whatsoever. I didn't notice even that I was on the Raspberry Pi 4. I also installed Plex, MB and Kodi, and the result was actually really good. So no complaints right over here. Of course, Plex is running out of a server, but when we play with Kodi, it's actually using the local hardware of the Raspberry Pi and of course software to decode video. And 1080 without any issues whatsoever. I did connect a remote control and I was able to have a pleasant experience right over here with Kodi, which is playing everything from my NAS, which is on the network. So a great result right over here as well in terms of Wi-Fi, because I did use Wi-Fi for all the tests that I'm sharing with you. Now, I also played a few games, actually 3 in this particular case. Angry Birds was the first and really fluid, really nice, but expect to find a few bugs, a few issues, which was what happens. And more important than Angry Birds is that there will be some games that you will find this kind of issue. You'll find a bug that, well, you will not be able to play the game completely. Now, Asphalt 8, it did play, but it had a lot of freezes, so the gaming experience was not pleasant. What was pleasant was cloud gaming through the Xbox service, and that worked really nice. The only exception that I did notice is that we will get a large black bar at the bottom and on the sides, which is not normal, but the gameplay itself did work really nice. So in my opinion, it's not worth it to purchase a Raspberry Pi 4 just to play around with Android 12 or 11 or 10. But if we already have a Raspberry Pi 4, why not try a few things which might be fun? And that's the message. I wouldn't purchase for this. I would purchase for other stuff that we have done right over here, Home Assistant and whatnot, not for Android 12. Nonetheless, the guide is great. The work that Konstakang has been doing over the years is just great. The last time that I used one was with Android TV 10. Android TV 12 is still not ready, so it's too early even to play around, and basically that is it. Now, if you want to install on yours really quickly, then what you need to do is to follow the links that I will leave down below to Konstakang website, and you will need to download the Android 12 image, the NikGapps equivalent, which at this moment I did use the NikGapps, and also Balena Etcher. Once you have those 3 files on your computer, install Balena Etcher either on Windows or Mac OS, and you will be able to flash your micro SD card with the Android 12 image. Once you have that, just remove your SD card, put in the Raspberry Pi 4, boot the Raspberry Pi 4, and you will be on Android 12. The only thing that we don't have is the Play Store and the Google services. So what we are going to do is go to the power menu, and I will show you on screen the steps necessary to go to that menu. But basically we will need to enable it so that when we go to the restart, we have the option to recovery. So when I press restart, I will press also recovery, and the machine will boot to the recovery menu. Once we are in the recovery, we will need to have a USB drive with the NikGapps that we did download, and once we have it, we just need to select install and then install NikGapps. After it's installed, then just do a wipe, and if there's a error or something like that, no worries. It's normal, so no problem whatsoever. It happened to me, but no issues. And then we just need to reboot and select reboot to system. Once we reboot to system, we will be on the Android 12 with those normal questions to configure the machine. And once we pass that, we will be on Android 12 with all the Google services and the Play Store installed. So right now we just need to install the apps that we want to test out and play around with the machine. And that is it. Basically, that is it. For someone that already has a Raspberry Pi 4, and if you have a micro SD card laying around, why not test out and see for yourself? And if you do, leave a comment down below with your experience. What did work, what did not work, your feedback, whatever you want to say, and share it with the community. So a huge thumbs up for you right over there. If the video was helpful in some way, don't forget to leave a thumbs up right over there. My name is Roberto, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.